It's got my camera on twice. Dumb. I don't know. All right, that's better. All right, let's see if. Oh, that's gonna get on my nerves every time I touch that. Let's let people get in here. I got really irritated starting this stupid thing, so I'm drinking a Miller Lite, and yes, it's gross.
Oh God, you're talking about taking the edge off.
Trying
You
to
know what? I
anyway.
might join you in that though. Let me go get a. I don't know what the fuck I have in my fridge. I think I have like a Michelob Ultra or some shit.
See, that's what I wanted. Something like that.
Hold up.
Hold on, folks. Let's let some people get in to the shizette. I'm trying to pull up the comments on the phone here, and it's not working. It's not working.
All right.
Hold on.
You still fucking vaping?
Hey, calm down. We don't need none of your nonsense. Is that real loud over the mic? That's gonna
No,
be
no, it's
annoying.
not like super loud. At least not on my end.
Tap to continue. Broadcast options. Okay. Ah, here we go. I don't know what this means. Hold on, this is the first time you ever using this playroom to broadcast, so I'm trying to learn
Oh
the
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. That's what. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. If you use Playroom, that's just like the camera or whatever, so you can just show yourself.
New poll. I can do a poll live.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's tons of shit, dude. You could put up like banners,
I got
do
one up right
polls.
now.
Yeah, you can do like tons of stuff in there.
Oh, this is
You
really
you
neat.
remember when the PlayStation first came out and everybody was using it as some like fuck room?
Oh man, it was Ashley and I's favorite pastime.
It was
We
awesome.
did it every Saturday night. We just watched. It was great. All right, so I got people coming in now. All right, eh, that thing right there is gonna get on my damn nerves. It keeps doing that.
What was it doing?
Every time I touch it, it goes boom, bonk, boom, bonk. All right, so we got some folks. I got my American flag shirt on that my daughter got me. I wonder. I didn't clean this room at all, and I haven't got set up, so I don't have my special edition up or anything. But I feel like I should have all my Kratos and Deacon and Drake and everybody else all positioned properly.
The whole PlayStation fuck gang. Like Jesus Christ.
Man, trying to tell you, I canceled my what is that noise? Is
Oh
that
my
you?
god, it's yeah, it's my phone.
Oh, okay. I thought the playroom was messing with me. All right, so we got a bunch of people already talking shit about SJW stuff.
Oh no.
All right, so I don't even know where to begin. You and I already spoke for like what 3-4 hours or some shit on this because
Yeah, I think it was like right after we beat the game, which is
so
crazy that we beat the
yeah
game at the same fucking time, even though we started at different times.
yeah we
That's pretty crazy.
just to give background, Dooley and I started kicking it on Google Plus, and then from there we I guess you invited me to the glitch community, and then from there I started talking shit to you about beating your ass in a game online, and you were like, "Do you play The Last of Us online?" And I was like, "Oh, do I ever?" And
Mm-hmm.
so I went. I didn't actually have the remaster yet, so I went and got it, and then played you, thinking, and I didn't even have a warm up. I was just like going right into it, thinking because most people you play that talk shit online suck, and so I went into it thinking, "No, this is gonna be so easy." And then within like you, what 4 kills on a 1v1, I was like, "Oh, done. Never mind. Hold on. let me catch back up. Hold on." And so, but ever since then, that was what shit 4. No, that was almost what 6 years ago,
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
been a minute.
So anyway, you and I have both been. I guess Persona 5 is now your favorite game, but prior to that, The Last of Us was both of our favorite games of all time, and so we put what 1,000+ hours into online alone.
Easily. I gotta check on the stats actually. Like I was looking at my stats for Uncharted and I was like, dude, we spent so much, way too much time on this, bro. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, we put a lot of time into it. So anyway, when this game dropped, we hadn't really been talking a whole lot, and we happened to just beat it at the same exact time. And I called you, or you called me, one of the two, and we just ended up like oohing and ahhing over it for 4 hours. So I guess
Hmm.
I want to touch on
Well, first of
everything.
all, tell everybody that this is we're going open with this. It doesn't like if you didn't beat the game and you want to beat the game and you don't want spoilers, even though everything has been leaked from fucking months ago.
Right, right.
Um, yeah, we're gonna be going into detail into a lot of different things. The ending of the game, all the stuff that has people pissed off about the game, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, everything.
So yeah, that's just a heads up for right now.
Because we will definitely be spoiling some shit. So I guess let's start off with are we gonna how are we doing this? Are we comparing it to the original? Are we just talking about it in itself? Are we comparing it to the games? Or are we just gonna just spitball it? Because that
I guess I want to first start off by saying that don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't play this game. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people trying, and they're getting the views off of it too because there's a lot of hate surrounding this game, right? And I think the hate comes from people actually loving a character way too much, and they
yeah,
tend to. I didn't. It's funny, bro, because in gaming, right? Ever since back in the day, everyone has always told me gameplay over everything.
yep,
Gameplay over everything. This is the first time where I've seen people like no story. And I'm like, how to like just that alone
it
makes this
exposes you.
game fucking unique and special because for it to completely flip the script on everybody, like everybody would always say gameplay over everything no matter what it was because as long as it plays good, I don't really the story could be mediocre, everything else could be mediocre, but the gameplay has to be there. And now we have a complete switch. Everyone's telling me that story is the way how to go. I play it for the story. I want story. It doesn't matter how it plays, which plays amazing, by the way.
Yeah, I think from the very first time you press start, right? Um, the opening sequence, I was really curious how they're going to do it because with the original game, that opening 15 minutes was probably it, I don't know if it'd be I don't even know if you could argue it. That's probably the most talked about opening 15 minutes of a video game of all time.
It, just like the first one,
Right.
and
That's what I'm
that's
talking about.
funny too that you brought that up because like a lot of people they want to treat this game like it's completely different from the first game just because they don't like it. There's a lot of similarities in it though because it is once again made by the same person. Like Neil Druckmann made the first one, he made this one, and there's a lot of similarities. Like in the first game, the first 15 minutes are like crazy and probably the most striking to people when they play it, and they're like, "Yo, this is how the game starts." But notice how in the second game, once again, the first 15 minutes of the game, it's like this is how the game starts. Like
It didn't.
So
It didn't start off near as impactful or anything like that. Uh,
mm-mm.
and I think I wonder
Well,
how, I wonder why that. I wonder if they tried. Obviously, they probably tried a bunch of different things, but ultimately they just went where they went because I don't think you
I
could
wouldn't I
match
wouldn't
that.
say it wasn't as impactful. I just think it dealt with a different type of impact. Like with the first game, you feel for Joel, you feel for sadness. It puts you right in the game immediately that you're like, whoa, like this kid died in his arms and stuff like that, and
Yeah, there was
you already
panic.
yeah
There was you had a ton of emotions going on. You were scared at first, like when you were
yeah
her and you were walking around. Now, what was cool though, and this is kind of skipping ahead, but the part where you're watching the cutscene in the first one, and then it cuts to where Sarah gets out of bed, and then the camera's behind her, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize it was gameplay yet. Man, they pulled that off over and over again in this
Oh
game.
yeah, yeah. It is smooth, bro. The transition
Man,
between cutscene and gameplay. There's been tons of times where like I'm sitting there like, and it's like, oh wait, no, I have to move now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it just came right out of the cinematics, right into gameplay.
yeah, it
But
was.
like how you were saying before, though, when you're talking about the impact of it, right? But and there's one similarity right there. Regardless of how the impact was, this is a pretty big impact. Like
The first 15
Joel,
minutes.
yeah, I mean Joel dying and
That
you're
wasn't
not able
15.
to do
That's two
anything
hours in.
about it is pretty impactful, and
No, that's two
it's
hours in though.
impactful so much to the point that people don't even play the game, which is even crazier to me. Like there's people that are hurt about the game that they're not picking it up, they don't want to buy it, they don't want to hear anything about it just because of the first 15 minutes of the game. So you can almost argue that it's more impactful. Like
Yeah, but that's 2 hours in. That's not first 15 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess okay, we'll talk about story. I guess the Joel part. Oh, well, let me back up. The part of me was really curious how they were going to handle the lie that Joel, or I would say mistruth, because I don't think Joel entirely lied to Ellie in the first game, because I
Explain.
I don't feel like
Explain.
I don't. It's a mistruth. So I feel like you're relying on one dude that knows how to create, not only do brain surgery and extract the cordyceps, but also
Mm,
generate a cure from that. Like, do you know how long? Like, just look at the damn coronavirus. Like, you
yeah.
have a world of people trying to find a cure or a vaccine, and nobody's come up with it yet, right? So it's like you're rely on one dude to kill this child and then figure out a vaccine. Like, I don't that.
All
So
right. Well,
to me, he was like, that's a risk I'm not willing to take, and I'm gonna stab you in the neck. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
To me, right? It's bigger than just that, right? Because when you and I've been seeing this all over, where it's like Joel deserved better or whatever, which is like some campaign that people are really going by, and like I really thought about it today. I was like, does he really deserve better though? Like, did people really pay attention to the first game, or did people really pay attention to this game to see the effects or the after effects of what Joel did? Like,
Yeah,
like
that's kind
yeah,
of how they
let's
positioned the
take
whole
it
game.
let's yeah, let's take away the fact that he killed innocent people, he killed surgeons, he killed doctors that were trying to help, right? The game pretty much tells you that he wiped out all of the fireflies pretty much. He hit them so much to the point, because remember in the first game that they were already fighting that faction that you were coming from, that like whatever, the place that you had snuck out of that has like all that policing and stuff, they
Right.
had been fighting against them and losing people for a long time, because remember that every area you go to, it already been ransacked, like they already got taken over or killed or ran off. So the fireflies were already down in numbers, and then Joel comes through and just decimates them. So it's like, and then you think about that, which is also another thing that I love, how people don't they're not bringing that up. The Fireflies were actually a good faction. They're a faction of people trying to find a cure and help people, and Joel wiped them out.
Right. Exactly.
Like, does no one look at this shit? There's no, like, and people don't bring that up, bro. Like, they're just like, yeah, justice for Joel. Yeah, the storyline that you go through makes you feel for Joel, and I understand 100% what he did. I don't know if I was put in that situation if I would change anything from what he did, right? But at
Right.
the same time, you have to look, and I'm so glad that it does this in the second game a lot, right? It shows you the other side of things, right? Where your actions have repercussions. You know what I'm saying? And it shows you the other side of that. So you play as the opposite side to see the characters, and you go back and forth between both of them pretty seamlessly. And the story actually makes sense going back and forth, going to future and past, going to like all these different characters, which I don't even understand like that in general. But people are just like, yeah, the story fucking sucks. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, how does it not make sense? Like,
Hold on a second. Pause real quick, because my shit messed up. You there?
yeah,
Okay, hold on. Sorry. God, so annoying. All right, sorry
you're
about
like
that.
so not used to using this shit anymore.
Dude, you have no idea. My controller died and then it just threw everything out of whack. All right, so I got to keep like touching my controller every once in a while.
Or you could just plug it in. If you plug it in, it'll stay on.
Oh, really? You sure? Even with no activity? Oh, I don't know. All right, so yeah, no, Joel was definitely a bad dude. Like, there's no doubt about it, or he was in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what I liked about the story was how they got rid of the idea of a NPC. Like, so the first majority of the first half of the game, you are playing as Ellie on her path of revenge, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
you go through and you start checking the people off the list. So you murder one after another, one after another, and then when they do this the script flip and you play as Abby, you start to see what chaos she wreaked havoc on.
Yeah.
Like she
And
what
not
the
even
impact
just
was.
yeah, not even just what chaos, dude. You got to see the same people that she was killing as just regular people, like as people that were friends with Abby, as people that were like I forgot the chick's name, the first chick that she goes for, like the doctor chick, like she's
Oh
actually
right,
one of the best in her field, and Ellie murders her. Like, so
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's just think about how many lives that affects. Across that little area. Like and then you kill the dog, and like you got to see how sweet and cool that dog was. Which, by the way, when you're playing as Abby, and you get to play the other dog Bear, and you can throw the ball for him. Did you do that?
yeah,
Okay, I threw the ball over the wall, and the dog just
because you're a
runs over.
dick.
The dog runs over to the wall. He sits down and just stares at the wall and starts whimpering like forever, dude. Like I sat there
How
watching
are
him do
you a
that.
dick in video game form, bro? That's
Oh man,
ridiculous,
I like to
bro.
see because that's how you figure out the details. Like I'm going through it on my second playthrough and just doing a bunch of crazy shit just to see what happens. Like,
Yeah, just to see how like how groundbreaking, how breaking it can be, or like what it actually like how the game reacts to you doing these things.
yeah, it is a blast. Like, and then playing with the bullet damage and all that. But we'll get to that stuff later.
Yeah,
So I guess right out of the gate, the graphic fidelity, dude, was just, and parts of it were like breathtaking. Like the
yeah,
forest, or is it the forest scene where you're Abby, where it's basically the trailer we saw, and then everybody. I remember that trailer came out where they were stringing or hanging her and all that. Everybody's like, "There's no way that's gameplay." And then as soon as like where
it is.
the trailer cuts and she's got the hammer right and the things are running at her,
Mm-hmm.
it that's gameplay. Like we didn't even realize it watching that. That was gameplay, and it just takes off from there. And you're just like, Jesus, that whole scene, the whole section is just
Yeah, the
that's got to
lighting in
be
that is like really crazy too, because you're only running by like a torchlight,
right.
and
Yeah,
it's like the way how the light bounces and stuff like that, and it's pitch black. Like whenever Lav like runs in front of you and stuff like that, like you can't see shit if you're not around them.
yeah. I wonder if that's partially because they were so hyper focused on a small area so they can make it look that good. I don't know because like other parts of
Yeah,
the game, I didn't know I don't notice it. So I've been playing on the monitor my second playthrough as opposed to playing on the. I was on my dad's. It's like a 65-inch QLED, whatever 4K. I don't know, but
mm-hmm.
so his that TV when my first playthrough, when you would pan the character and stuff, like I don't know if you call it screen tearing, but like there was the background would look real weird, and so I would adjust my motion blur and all that, but it
Is it
wasn't
that cheese mess thing that I was talking
that.
about in Uncharted?
Yeah, that would pop up too, but it wasn't that. It was
Mm-hmm.
something different. Like the background would look weird sometimes. I don't know. So
Yeah.
there's some weird technical issues that you could
Oh, for
notice.
sure. There's poppins, dude. Like I showed my
Yeah,
wife, like,
Poppins.
and I was like,
Yeah,
hey, like, look at the flag in the background, and like I'd walk forward, and it would like fully load in everything, but I'd take two steps back, and it would turn a little file. It did the same thing as Halo, like, where it's just like you get up close, and it's just like everything is there. Um,
yeah. That's the dynamic. It's partially dynamic resolution,
yeah.
partially like distant frame rate changes. Like yeah, it's all the tricks they pulled. They use all the tricks, which none of
All
that
right,
I
so
don't none of that
I
bothers me.
got a question for you. Other than we'll get back to the graphics thing, right? How do you feel? Because this is something that I don't agree with, and a lot of people point it out as the story sucks and everything like that, and they use that as like the major piece to being like, oh, the story sucks because this happened, right? The way how Joel
I was parlaying back
and
into that, by the way.
yeah, like
The,
how they give themselves up like that, Joel and Tommy, like they could have did better with that,
I don't
like a
know. I don't think
hundred
so.
percent.
Have you played it again?
Dude, I could come up with one right now.
No,
Like,
but I'm saying, have you played it again?
what do you mean?
Have you started your second playthrough?
Yeah, I started it, but I didn't get to that part yet.
Okay, so I wonder if you'll have the same when you watch it back, knowing everything that goes on, and then you pay attention to the subtleties. They were Joel and his brother were or Tommy were both incredibly uneasy as soon as they got in there. Like they were uneasy about going there in the first place. They were uneasy, really uneasy once they got there. And then once they got into that room and everybody kind of they got in that like, they kind of crowded, not crowded, but like got in a circle.
Hmm.
Both of them knew they fucked up at that point. So, and
Yeah, but what I'm saying is right. Like, even if you went to there, like they could have had it in a different way because we know that Jackson has electricity, right? Like, why couldn't they have walkie talkies and maybe somebody was looking for Joel or whatever. He forgot to like turn it off, and then somebody is like, "Hey, Joel, come in," whatever. Like they could have done it in such a different way, other than Tommy being like, "Hey, my name's Tommy. We got guns and food. Social
yeah, but
security number.
he
You
gave a
want like
fake
what do you
he gave a
like? I
fake camp though. He said it was over 2 hours away. Like they and he didn't reveal anything about where they were or where they're from.
they reveal their names, which is like, I mean, I still think that's
Yeah, but that's consistent with throughout this game and the previous game. Nobody ever really used fake names or anything.
yeah. I just think it could have been a little bit better where it's like they figured out his name other than him just giving it right up. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't sit right with me, regardless of like if it works or not. Because I think you are right when you did say like he's like, yeah, he's like, we have a place that's like a little bit away from here, but he was telling them, hey, you could come with us. We can give
Yeah, but
you
that's after he was feeling uneasy. I think he was trying to buy time because if you pay attention to his
mm-hmm.
facial expressions, I think he was trying to buy time to figure out a solution because they both knew they were fucked and they didn't know why. They felt like something was off. The energy was off in the room. Like you could see it on their face, and so he was just trying to buy time.
I
That's
don't
my
know.
impression after
It's
I played it again.
I gotta go back through it, but the first time I saw it, it didn't sit right with me because even when Joel gets hit, it looks like it catches Tommy like totally off guard, which I mean it would like if somebody just turned around and did whatever, you know what I'm saying? But for somebody that was uneasy, like they
Well, they
weren't
were
ready for it.
uneasy. They were uneasy but they didn't know why. You're right. And so then when Joel gets his leg blown off, that like
Yeah,
really
but
throws him off.
my thing is that it was that uneasy from like a panic side of things where it's like, hey, we just almost died, or was it uneasy because they were actually with people? Like they were just
I
too
feel like
open. They were.
I
It
guess
didn't.
it's up for interpretation, but I feel like it's because they
Yeah, for
knew.
me, it didn't feel like Joel, dude. It didn't feel like Joel. Even when he met Sam and Henry in the first game, he was very like apprehensive about like telling them shit. You know what I'm saying? But
I
here it
think
was just
part of me feels like Joel was done, right? Like if he kind of had somewhat closure with Ellie because you see that throughout the flashbacks. So
yeah.
I feel like he kind of was at a point where he did what he felt like he needed to do. His job there was done, and that grind that he was living in was just he was like, just get over with. He was like, he did, you know what I'm saying? Like he just kind of he fulfilled what he needed to do, and now he could go home. It's kind of the way I
Yeah,
look
but
at it.
see that would make sense. But the person that was giving up the most information was fucking Tommy. Like, if anything, this Tommy deserves better in this game because they completely changed up his character. But everyone continues to talk about Joel. Like, that's just everyone can't stop talking about Joel. But Tommy,
Well, but we don't know a whole lot about Tommy though. Like if you think about it, like we really don't. I mean, it seems like
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, now the way Joel died, uh,
people have a problem with that.
yeah, like so you and I have already discussed this. So you know the reason why they did what they did, they being the writers, is that both you and I agree that it's because they wanted to take the player, like basically you're just now a witness and you cannot do anything, just like Ellie's witnessing this happen and she cannot do anything, so both you and the character are feeling helpless at that very moment, and so that
hmm
irritates a lot of people. They do a Game of Thrones where they're killing off a main character, especially in a way that you don't like. And what people have to realize is that part of what makes a good writer is that you can play people's emotions like a fiddle, and that's what they're doing. Like the fact that you're mad and you feel like they did Joel wrong is exactly what they're trying to do, and this is the reason why people will still talk about this game for another 7 years, just like the
Oh
first
yeah,
game.
dude, it completely divided everybody on this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, it's all over the place. There's people that won't play it at all. There's people that have given up on it already. There's people that have played to that part and said fuck it. There's people that have played the entire game and don't like it. There's people that love it from beginning to end. Like, it's all over the place, bro. You don't know where anyone sits with this or what problem they have with the game, which is you know me already, bro. Whenever somebody comes up with like a claim or something like that, I'm gonna ask them why. And half the time they really can't give me a reason of why, and I'm like, that's fine. Like, let's just boil it down to what it is, right? You have feelings over a fictional character, which is like a lot of people don't know how to fucking deal with that shit. Like they feel some sort of way over this character dying, but instead of it being like, hey, I feel genuinely fucked up about Joel dying, they'll say that it's like it's shit story. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that throughout the game, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, even though I don't like the way how Joel came across in the whole beginning, like, it didn't really seem like Joel. Like, he was too happy-go-lucky, too, like,
Yeah, but they explain all. I think they explain all that though really well in the flashbacks.
what do you, I don't
I, I
know.
wish I wish I could. I put together a slideshow that I thought I'd be able to have in the background, so I could point
hmm
stuff out. But obviously that's not going to work. But he was just think about the whole museum scene. I mean, he was. You had never seen Joel like that before. Like he was giddy. He was super happy and just I don't know. I felt like he had found his happy spot, his happy place, and but then once their relationship started going downhill because of the decision he made in the past, I think he just realized that you know it's time for his old ass. I don't know. I That's neither here nor there. I guess. I guess you could argue that, but again, that's the whole point. That's what they're trying to get you to do. Um,
hmm But
I
see, that's the crazier part. People go, "Oh, they killed Joel to just do this and this. It's a shit story." It's like, no, they did that knowing that people would be upset. Like Neil Druckmann already said from before that like there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to like this game. They're not going to like what we do with the characters. Like it's not shit writing. They knew exactly what they were doing with it.
right.
Like shit writing is when you're trying to convey something and you don't.
Yeah, that's why we'll get to the end of the game, but um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's set up the story properly. I mean, the game's about hate. I mean, most people already had a feeling he was going to die anyway, which is why I told you the other day. I said, what if you reverse the roles and Ellie died? Because if you think about look at all the promotional, right? The Ellie edition. You have the Ellie dolls. You have they don't have a Joel doll. They have everything is Ellie based, right? So
hmm
what if they killed Ellie in the first 2 hours, and then the rest of the game you're playing as Joel on an Uber revenge tale? Like to me, I'd almost argue that makes a better game. Honestly, like I feel like because nobody would have saw that coming, dude.
You could.
Nobody in the whole world saw Ellie dying in the first 2 hours. I feel like that's a completely different game. And even if she died the exact same way, you would accept it more than you would Joel, which is odd
See,
to
but
me.
that's the thing. I think you're kind of used to that already, which is I like a lot of people will say it should have been more like Red Dead Redemption or whatever, right? Where it's like, oh, he gets sent out on the sunset and all this other stuff. It's like we're so used to seeing the same hero story or the same they give themselves up for their family, their loved ones, or whatever, and they go out in a blaze of glory. Like, this is not that, bro. This is something that, like, I've never seen before, and I think a lot of people have not seen before. This is exactly why they're acting the way how they're acting with this thing. It's so different, dude. You would never. And the way how they did it was so fucking disrespectful, bro. Like, it's
Oh,
so bad.
it's so
Like,
disrespectful.
yeah. Like
That's kind
when
of
Manny spit on him and shit, bro, I was like, what the absolute fuck? But all I could feel, and it's like, it's crazy because the same things that I felt were the same things that Ellie felt. Like, who was that motherfucker? Who are these people? When can I get my hands on them? And you know what I'm saying? It was the same, like the same emotions that Ellie feels is the same way that I felt, at least. Some people have their own different take on it, but I just wanted to get to Abby. Like, I was like, all right, cool. And it's like Tommy felt that way too because he dipped even before. Like,
right. Yeah,
Tommy's like, I'm not even gonna wait, bro. Like, I'm out.
well, he was also trying to prevent Ellie from going. The
Yeah,
the yeah, that whole character arc with Abby, and then finding out, you know, Joel was killed the dad and all that. Like that was Abby's character is brilliant. Or I should say brilliant. That's like the greatest thing to write it,
it's
but
good.
I'm saying she's a
the,
really
the
badass
best
character.
the best thing I love when people say is like, "Oh, fuck Abby, I hate that character." You're supposed to hate her. You're like, there's
Yeah,
nothing
exactly.
after she kills Joel. There's nothing that she can do to make you love her. It's not supposed to happen like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though I think she was well played out, like I think they put the story in the right way that made her change and grow and progress over time. And not only did she want to change, the people that she was around wanted to change, which is like, I think like a lot of people want to bring it up, like why didn't they kill Joel? Or why didn't they kill Ellie and Tommy in the beginning of the game? And I was like, well, if you actually look back at the game, right, they play the death scene twice. The first time they play it, Ellie, her ears start ringing and stuff. So all you see is her looking at Joel and just being
Right,
like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." Like, you don't hear anything that the guys are saying, right?
right.
The second time they play it around, you actually hear it from their perspective or whatever, where Owen is like, "Hey, like, all right, that's it. You're good. You got what you wanted. Let's get the fuck out of here." And when you look at Owen's story arc, he he legit wants to get out of the situation that he's at, because when you're playing with the wolves, right, what is their main thing? The wolves are there to protect themselves, right? But they're not like the fireflies. Like, the fireflies were very passive and they were trying to help humanity, which is like, the wolves aren't a bad group, but they were going to wipe out the Seraphites. They're like, oh, we're going to go over to the island and wipe these motherfuckers out completely. Like, they're a different breed.
I read so far where I'm at in the game. I've been reading everything. That's not true. So the wolves
That's
are
exactly
actually
what they do at the end of the game. What are you talking about?
none of the wolves are pretty bad. If you're to believe the narrative of the people that are writing letters, like they're doing some pretty terrible shit. So
Yes.
you, so I mean they're essentially just a more militarized Firefly,
But
basically.
but that's, yeah. I didn't say that they're a good team. What I'm saying is that he wanted to get away from that. Owen wanted to
Oh
get
right,
away
yeah,
from that because they were trying to tell them, hey, like, you'd have to go and kill this person. You'd have to kill these people to take their stuff, and he didn't want to do that anymore.
right.
And that's also another thing that people talk about. They're like, oh, the characters have no development in the game. How? Owen is a great character in the game. Like, my wife ended up really liking Owen at the end of the game because he's so different from what's going on in the world at that point, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
then his Mel, she was torn between the wolf military life and structure, and then this more quote unquote free spirit dude that was trying to find the
but
fireflies. You know, that's
going back to Owen, right? Owen didn't want to kill anybody anymore, and that's when he had that accidental stuff with that man, whatever guy that was on the team with you guys, the one that was supposed to be upstairs. Like, he like, and you hear everything played back after Joel gets killed. He's like, yo, let's kill him. And he's like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Like, we're stopping this shit. Like, he was gonna try to leave to go to Santa Barbara. So it 100% makes sense that He was the one to be like, "Yo, we're stopping this. Abby got what she wanted. Let's get the fuck out of here." And they literally say it, but somehow the narrative is just like, "Oh, they just left them alive," and that's bad storytelling. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's no that part of it never I never questioned that. That makes total sense, and it kind of shows the humanity within that group. You know, they're not, and they even said that we're no better than he was if we killed him, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, all of that made sense. The only part about Abby's character that I cannot stand is how they made her like, you know, Arnold the girl, like she's walking. Hi, my name is Alice. Like, dude,
It's
and
funny because
you and
I
I
had
discussed
somebody
this.
last night that I was talking to that about them, and it's like I think I think it has to do with like I don't know if they're attracted to her but she was big, so they did like I don't know what the fuck is going on with her, but like it didn't rub me that way. I didn't really care that she was big or not.
To me, it throws me off. Now, let me just back up a little bit and let everybody know, because some of y'all might not follow me on Twitter and stuff, but and I guess I've said this on podcasts. I've said it on. I mean, I've said it a bunch of times, but I called this entire storyline to a T when they first showed Abby. Everyone said that was Ellie's mom, and I said publicly several times, "Nope, that's Ellie's arch enemy, and you're going to play as her and Ellie." But when you play as her, we didn't know her name at the time. When you play as her, she's going to play more like Joel's character. And then the game drops, and it is to the T what I said. Also, moreover, on whenever you and I were talking about The Last of Us, the first game into this one, that little podcast we did, you and I both were talking about how they're going to make the mechanics more like Uncharted, or I guess you said that. And then
Mm-hmm.
I parlayed that with more agile, Ellie to be more agile, so that you can still do melee combat, but it'll be a little bit more nimble, so it'll make more sense because you can't just brute force everybody with Ellie, right? So, but and then that came out to a T, and we'll dive more into the gameplay in a little bit. But so all that was great, but what threw me off with Abby being so huge is you don't even really see men like that in the game, and I'm sorry, it completely throws me off. She doesn't have lats. Like when you have big ass arms like that, your lats should be huge. Now I'm assuming that they can't do that because of clipping and stuff. But I don't know. They explain it well. Like whenever you first play as her, you see the big ass gym and you see that they have all the food they need. Like everything makes sense to
Mm-hmm.
how she could get like that. She even has like acne scars and back knee from steroids. So I don't give a shit what Naughty Dog says. They did that because they wanted to imply that she's on steroids, and they never clarify if she is boy or not, right? Like I guess we don't truly know. That's kind of the point. But she, what the fuck? Uh, damn, let's fuck my shit up. Anyway, yeah, it just threw me off. I felt like she should look more like Nadine than how she did. Like if she looked more like Nadine, who was also military trained and all that, I felt like that
Mm-hmm.
would have been much better, much better.
I don't know. I don't. For me, I don't. For me, at least, I don't think it would change that much, like
It
how she
didn't.
looked.
It
And I
doesn't
think
bother
it
me that she's
actually,
enormous.
yeah, it actually played off to me because I'm just like, dude, when the fight, because you know the fight between them is inevitable, like it's coming, right? But you're just like, how the fuck is Ellie gonna kill this chick? Like, this chick has been preparing herself a whole lifetime to kill this dude, like. Because you even remember the time when she's with Owen, right, on the Ferris wheel, and Owen is like, he's free spirited. He wants to leave that shit. It's been a
Right.
long time coming, right? And he's like, yo, let's just chill out here today. Like, fuck going. And she's like, no, let's go to training. Like, her whole thing was like, yo, I'm gonna train. I'm gonna get bigger. I'm gonna get buffer. Like, I'm gonna find him one day.
She
Period.
talked about putting up 185 pounds, and yeah,
Yeah.
they
So it's like
explained all that.
to me it completely made fucking sense. Like it didn't bother me that she was that big. But you're not the only one, dude, cuz I talked to somebody yesterday. It was like that bitch is fucking big and he's also a person that works out. So I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it bothers me to the core. But I'll tell you this though, the second time I'm playing with her, I mean, her sequence um, of day one, two, and three are far better than Ellie's as far as like gameplay goes. And dude, you can just murk people with her. Like, oh my
Mhm.
god. Uh, I don't know if you saw those clips I sent you, but like, well, see, I don't want to get into the gameplay yet because the most exciting part. But yeah, so I felt like her whole story arc was quite really well done. It was and it made you really
No, and
feel some type of
here's
way
the
about.
funny part. Here's the funny part. That sorry to interrupt, but her story arc is pretty fucking similar to Joel and Ellie's story arc.
Yeah,
Because when
it's
you look at
basically the
her and
same.
Lem, it's the same fucking thing. So when people once again they say the story sucks, I'm like, I. You're blowing my mind here because it's in the fucking first game. It's fucking similar. Are you paying attention? Or are you just paying attention to the parts that you want to and being like, the story sucks because of like one or two parts that are like pretty big? But
Yeah, that's why they did it that way because they're trying to show you two sides, and there's two sides to every story, and they both had the same motivation. They both lost, one lost a biological father, one lost a figurative father, right? So it's like everything makes sense, and you understand the drive behind both of their actions. So
mhm.
to me, that was all kind of what I anticipated. Whenever I said the things that I said about the story arc, that's kind of what I initially thought when I predicted all this. So it wasn't shocking to me. And so maybe that's part of the reason why it didn't hit the same as the original because I felt like I already knew it. It's like
Yeah.
once I confirmed what I had already thought, I had been thinking about it so much anyway. I had already played through all these different scenarios in my head, so like it kind of it seemed like I had already played it before, if that makes sense. But the reason why I brought up the graphics, and I was going to parlay back into the story, was before I forget, I want to throw this out there.
Hmm.
The reason why one of the reasons why I put up a fight when people say graphics don't matter. Uh, this game it doesn't sit with you the same without this level of graphics. And what I mean by that is like think about whenever you're Ellie, right? At one point, and she's doing the flashbacks, and it shows like screenshots of Joel's face as he's about to die and stuff. Like that looks damn near photorealistic, and you really feel it because like you see like pieces of his ear missing, and like his face is getting deformed, like and the swelling's beginning, and like it's just so graphic and visceral. Like if you didn't have that level of detail, I don't know if it hits the same. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
at all. And that goes with everything. Like whenever you're every kill that you make is so like this is the see I'm getting back to the gameplay. I keep doing that. I'll end it with this. When you like normally like in Max Payne 3, when you shot somebody in the face, like their face would turn into hamburger meat. But if you go look at it closely, now I know this is PS3 games, so things are different, but like it was almost like a sticker was put on there, and they kind of did it. It was kind of cool how they did it. The Last of Us Part One did it too, where it's like it's almost like texturing. And unless they've got really good at this, I'm almost positive on this game there's actually layers to the characters because and I mean that in a structural standpoint. Because when you shoot them in the face and stuff, like parts of their face are gone. It's no longer just a sticker. And trust me, I have a shit ton of screenshots. And if I had them playing right now, that's why I was trying to set it up. I was going to show you. Like like pieces of their like cheekbone are missing, and like their nose are will be gone, like stuff like that. So, but to me, when you have that level of detail and that level of graphic fidelity, it kind of helps pull you into the story more, if that makes sense. Um,
No, it definitely does. That and the audio, man. Like the audio is fucking nuts in that game. It's like, even places where it's like supposed to be super silent, you hear like just little things in the background that are just like they didn't really have to. You know what I'm saying? Most
hold on,
developers
hold on.
don't.
Let me address Bond. We literally just covered that. Yeah, she. I don't care what anybody says. She was way too big and it made no sense. In my opinion, she should look more like Nadine from Uncharted 4 because they're both military trained and all that. And I'll dive into on the gameplay standpoint. I'll dive into more reasons on that. But yeah, I just feel like she was too big and it kind of it throws me off. Another thing well, I guess I can touch on that later. I get since we're talking about it, I feel like since Uncharted 4, Naughty Dog hasn't done a good job of like paying respect. They're trying to pay respects to everybody. It's like all inclusive and all that kind. I get all that, and they're trying to
Hmm.
represent everybody, which I respect. I don't have any problem with it. Like the way they handled Lev being transgender, right? Like I felt like that story arc was great. Like there was nothing wrong with it. It was really well written, really well done, really is believable.
Hmm.
So I didn't have an issue with that. Ellie being gay with her sex scene and all that kind of stuff, like all of that made total sense, and their relationship seemed very real. I didn't trust Dina. I don't trust Dina, and I don't like Dina. Not because of anything they did. It's just something about it. I don't like her. Like, I just don't feel like. But I guess it's kind of the same way that when my girls date in real life, I don't like their people either. So I think it's partially like that because when I played the first game, Ellie was kind of like at the same age as my daughter, and so everything kind of played in together, which is why part of the reason why I love these games so much. But yeah, so I just kind of look at it like, yeah, no, she's not good enough, fuck her. But
Mm.
the thing I was
Yeah,
gonna
but
say though is,
Dina did fucking come in there, dude. Fucking knowing she was pregnant, ran in there, took a
I
fucking
know
like,
she's ride
come
or
on, bro.
die. I get
Dina
it,
goes hard, bro.
but she
Dina
wasn't.
goes fucking
But
hard.
in
Like,
the end, she was not ride or die. In the end, she was not ride or die. So
dude, she did enough.
I
There's
don't want to
only
hear it.
Nah, fuck that. There's only a certain amount of fucking of that you're gonna take, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
I get it. I
she,
get all that.
yeah.
I trust. I get it. But also, that's just your
Especially
ride
when
or
she
die.
has a kid to think about. Like fuck that. Like you're not gonna have these motherfuckers come back here trying to kill me and the kid. Like that. I understand her 100%. Like
Yeah, I don't know. I also I guess with all the characters that were involved, I don't know where else to go with the story as far as like until we get to the end, right? Like we're in the middle part basically. I felt
mhm.
like do you, I hope if they do a DLC, I hope it's Tony or Tommy and Manny. I hope we get to see them like their story because there's big sections of the game where
Yeah,
they're out doing shit, but you
dude.
don't see it.
I don't know with as much hate as this game got, right? And I think a lot of it is it's kind of undeserved, honestly. Like it's
Oh,
from a lot of
100%.
people.
It's a lot of
Yeah, it's
ignorant
from a lot of
motherfuckers, dude.
people that like looked at somebody who played the game on YouTube and then like listened to everything they had to say and now they're spewing it out and it's like
Dude,
really and truly at the end of the day just admit you don't like that they killed Joel. That's the problem you have with the game.
well,
Period.
they
It's
also
not
feel like there's a lot of SJWism, and I'm not going to sit here and try to say that Naughty Dog
it's in
doesn't.
there, but it's
Yeah,
not
it's in there.
fucking it doesn't
They're in the
there's
epicenter of.
SJW shit in the first game. Like, did it really switch you? Did it really sway you from not playing it? Like, Bill was gay. Like, they had the whole scene between Ellie and Riley. Like,
Uh, I don't know if she knew she was pregnant at that point, but fair enough. I saw a black one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, if you strictly are not playing this game because you feel like there's too much agenda pushing, you okay, you have to stop watching all things entertainment because literally everything in Hollywood is pushing some
is
sort of agenda.
yeah,
And people have to realize art imitates real life. Okay, so you can't quote unquote take politics out of games because that's what art is, and it's always going to be that way. It's always been that way, and it will forever be that way. So you gotta respect that. And I'm of the camp of I want the developers to do whatever it is they want. Period. End story. That's it. I will never argue with what you know what I mean. Like I will never ever argue about that. I might not like it, but I want them to do that. And they made the game that they wanted to make. Dude, the clickers
they
have
did.
dicks. Okay, the dicks and balls move. Okay,
Yeah.
they have
Nobody else in the industry is gonna do that.
no
Nobody else in the
nobody's
industry is gonna do that, bro.
nobody. Well, other people had that kind of stuff. Like the Order had that, but like they don't. Nobody's pushing the boundaries like Naughty Dog does. From
Yeah,
from a technical
but see,
standpoint, story
the
standpoint.
order had that with a brand new character, so it's like people aren't gonna, they don't care about Galahad, right? It's like
No,
whatever.
I meant dicks.
Oh, oh,
The
what
D's
the,
and B's.
come on, man,
The D's and B's.
come on,
Oh,
bro.
well, let me finish this. So Naughty Dog also. So the agenda thing that I don't like and this is why it bothers me. They Naughty Dog is so hyper focused on realism and details and like the nuanced details, right? Like I posted a photo of Ellie holding the revolver up, and I had four shots in my gun. So there was three in the chamber, or three in the revolver, and one in the chamber itself. Like you can see it in gameplay, and the damn barrel is rifled. Like the guns mechanically work internally, even though you can't see it. But that's why you can hear it. Uh, anyway, I can dive into that more, but I'm not. This you talked about sound earlier, like when you're walking around the rain, and you can hear, especially with 3D audio, you can hear the rain pinging off of metal differently from grass, differently from concrete.
Hmm.
Like everything has its own designated sound, all that kind of stuff plays into helping immerse you, the player, into the story. And so, like, where was I going with this? Like, it's just absolutely incredible. And so, all of that said, right, all of that detail, when you have a bunch of women, main characters, like if you look into the background, like the NPCs that are just around, they don't suffer from this. It's only the main characters in Uncharted 4 and this game. Women
Mm.
don't have the same feature sets or like curves and stuff that women do in real life. And to me, it's kind of like you can't be hyper focused on detail and realism if you don't also have women looking like women. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's weird. Like it throws me off, especially.
that's where the SJW shit goes. Like it's going a little too far to the point
Well,
where
it's
it's
not even
like
doing
you're actually
service.
doing a disservice to women because women look like that. Women, there's women like to be sexy, so it's like why are there
I'm not even saying they have
no
to do
sex?
that. I'm not even saying they have to
But
do that, and because in that world, you're not gonna have chicks walk around in bikinis, but like even just wearing their normal gear, like should be able to see curves. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like Aloy, right? Like she still had a figure, even though she wasn't portrayed as sexy. Like it just doesn't make sense
yeah,
to me. I hope they get away from that because they it just doesn't make sense in a world that's so detailed and so based on realism that you don't have that. So it catches my eye when everybody's flat chested. Like it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, especially pregnant girls. Like what? That's have you ever been around a pregnant woman? Like that's not how. Anyway, uh, it's just weird to me. And it's not that I want it to be sexualized or anything like that. It's not that. I just want it to be.
mm,
I want it to make sense in the world that they provided, and it doesn't.
that's pretty much what they. Yeah, everyone's flat, and even like there was they had the big. Remember when you go against the Seraphites? And like they had that one big chick that like took
Yeah.
Abby's backpack and stuff.
Right.
But like even that dude, I thought was so seamless. Like when Abby's having to fight with her, and like she's about to lose, and she like bites her ear off and shit. I
Dude,
was
do you
like,
know? So I'll
that
tell you,
happened so many times in the game where these little back and forwards happen that you're just like, oh, I didn't expect that. Like,
it is.
or like,
It's so brilliant. Like that chick that you're talking about. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you have, and I'm going to say this, and you're going to go, "Oh shit, you're right." That chick that you're fighting is Matilda's teacher or principal.
wait a minute, like the actual.
I don't know. They look strikingly the same. If you don't believe me, Google that shit. Go look up
This is
Matilda's
the shit you
teacher.
think about while you're
Yeah,
playing, bro. I swear to God.
I just did that part before we got on here. I'm telling you, go look it up. Matilda's principal in the movie, and tell me that ain't the
Dude.
same chick.
Or tell me at the end, right, where you're in the Seraphite Island or whatever, and you fight the big black guy, and you like slash his face and his jaws
Oh
hanging.
my god,
Like,
dude,
bro, the
like
game is lit. Anybody who tells you that the game is not worth playing is just like stop, man. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of if you agree with the story or not, which is like it's
that's kind of the
still
beauty of it, though. You don't have to agree with it. It can make
yeah,
you mad
play
as
it for
shit.
what it is.
Yeah, use your anger or frustration with the story that you don't like. Which hello, it's a story. It's not supposed to be catered to you. Uh, use that to your advantage in the combat. Like the
But that's what I
gameplay.
think it is. I think a lot of
God,
people like they push their own narrative on the characters and stuff like that. And I'm like, why does it like I play the games like it's a fucking movie. Like I'm just trying to look at like what's going on in their world. I never try to project myself onto the characters. Like this is why some people have a problem. They're like, oh, I'm playing as a girl. I don't even want to play the game. It's like, why are
yeah,
you projecting yourself on a fictional character anyway? Like, that shit makes no
that's
fucking sense.
you and I are the same in that regard because I talked to David Jaffe about this a while back. Who he made, just for those that don't know, he made the original God of Wars. He made Twisted Metal. Anyway, I was talking to him about it, and he doesn't. He's well, first of all, he's not a fan of storylines in general. Like he just likes gameplay. But uh, what he disagrees with me on this. But like when I play a video game, I do not put like what you said. I don't put
Project
myself in.
yourself onto the
I don't
character.
do
Yeah,
that.
like
Yeah, I don't do that. What I do is I become the character. So like in GTA 5, I'll use this as an example, which I've used plenty of times in the past. But when I would play each individual character, I would then become them in like all the outfits that I would choose for them, or cars, or the way that I even fought people would be what I would think how they would do it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so I would just react in the way that I think they would react. If I was Trevor, I would go guns blazing 100% of the time. If I was Michael, I'd be a little bit more, cunning and a little bit more slick with it. and so on and so forth. So like that, I've always done that. I've always just been like, okay, cool. This is the character. I'm gonna play like this character, and how they would. Um, and that to me like helps you be more immersed in the story. If you go the other route, like what you were talking about with people, I can understand how they get really bent out of shape over it, but that's not how I do it. Like Ellie, I'm more, sneaky and that kind of
But
stuff.
that's what I think is just people's problems, bro. They want it to be their way the whole time, and it's like it's not your story, bro. They're not making the game about you. Like it's
Well, okay, so let's fast forward to the well, we I think we I don't know if you felt this way, but whenever you get to the farmhouse and you were like you finally got your dream scenario, right? Like where you're like, okay, we're a happy family now, Dina and all that, the baby that looks like baby
mm-hmm.
Doss, and Doss, if you're out there, I apologize, but that's baby Doss all day. Um, uh, you're like, I was genuinely upset. I was like, dude, this cannot be the end of the game because it felt like they were setting you up like this is the end of the game, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's not, and I was like, oh, thank God, like that in itself was done on purpose. It had to have been, and like that makes me appreciate the writing more. But then I started getting worried. I was like, wait a minute, what if all this buildup is going to be Halo 5, where where there's actually never a fight between you and Abby? Like I
Yeah.
started feeling like that. I was like, dude, they could do that, and then that's going to piss me off. And not
And
only did
I
they,
love the location too. Like they definitely jumped from a lot of different locations, from like
oh, dude,
snow to like beaches to like they jumped all over the place. Like when it's picked up and it was just like Santa Barbara, I was like, oh shit, like this
dude,
looks completely different here.
it was magic. Like the level design and all that, like the environment and all
It's
this.
crazy.
I've been doing photo mode like crazy on my second playthrough, dude. I cannot. It is absolutely insanity what they did.
Mm-hmm.
What these people did with this game is just unfreaking believable. Like I can't.
But
It's.
it's funny that you don't hear people talking about that shit too much. All you hear them talking about is story. Like you don't hear them talking about all the other shit that's in the game. They brush that aside. Like even love or hate the story, they brush that shit aside. They're like, oh, gameplay is fucking. Da, da, da. All right, cool. Well, what I didn't like about
Dude,
like
there's no ands if or buts about it. You can hate every ounce of the story, every character. The game itself is fucking masterful. Like the
yeah.
level design, the art design, the violence, the
Dude, can we
gameplay,
talk about the fucking hospital real quick?
the
The
hospital.
hospital, bro?
What do you mean?
When you're playing as Abby and they tell you she needs the fucking kit for Lev's sister,
That's where I'm at right now
right?
in the second playthrough.
Bro, that shit has so much like just you feel it when you go down
Oh,
there, bro. And
dude,
it's just like
that's
they
the
have
boss.
the
Well,
stalkers that are like inside the wall and shit like
let's
that.
not let's not do gameplay yet. Let's wait. Let's
Okay, all
let's,
right, all
let's
right,
hold
all
that off
right.
because
Let me
let's
pull
get to
back.
the let's get when we get to where we're in Santa Barbara and we're trying to find Abby, dude. That entire sequence for both characters was so outrageous, and on top of that, like you know, uh, they somehow
Oh,
managed
and
to,
the Rattlers, dude. The Rattlers are just like, it's another group once again, but they feel completely just
yeah, all three
like
factions
the shit that
factions
they're
feel
doing was
different.
just weird as fuck, man.
Like it's man. Anyway, when you finally get to where they meet up, I guess they meet up twice, right? Yeah. So the first time it's more of like Joel and Ellie and David their fight, except
hmm
this time you are Abby and Ellie is David, right? So the way that played out was so fucking awesome, and the fact that Ellie was doing things that Ellie does, where she would set traps. Like, dude, I ran into a mine. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah,
Fuck Ellie. And then I was
dude.
like, oh, I can't say fuck Ellie.
I got so excited, bro, when I was like, because remember, like we had called this shit. I was like, dude, there's gonna be a point where you have to fight fucking Ellie or you have to fight Joel, and when they switched up that whole scene and they came back to Abby and then Ellie took off in the theater and as soon as I could shoot one shot at her and she's like, fuck you, motherfucker, and like ran, I was like, yo, it's actually fucking happening, bro. And it's so crazy to actually, it's a beloved character that
And
you've
you,
played with and you
right.
know, and
You
you're
have to,
fighting against her.
and you
It's
can't pull punches.
fucking amazing.
And you
How
can't
the
pull
fuck?
punches. Now,
Yeah.
think about that for a second. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I wish it was in my hands. I wish I could decide on the end and stuff." It's like, dude, they force
You would
you to play
always
as a kid.
decide to just pick whatever you'd pick whatever's best for her, and that's the whole point. Like everybody, even the ending of the game, people are like, "I wish they give you the decision to kill." You would kill her, like you'd kill the other person. Like that's just no. They want you to feel some sort of way, bro. Like you're not just gonna get the
So
easy way out of what every other game would fucking do. Like
when you were playing as Abby and you have to fight Ellie and then you have to fuck Ellie up, you feel some kind of way. Like you're just like, dude, this is blasphemous.
yeah,
Like I do not
yeah.
like this at all.
It fucks with
And
you.
you're
It
fucking
completely
doing
fucks
it.
with you. But at the same time, she's a fucking dick. Like she does all the moves that, like, when you play with her, like if you throw a bottle and she's directly in front of you, she'll dodge that shit. She'll
Oh,
fucking
dude,
like
it was incredible. That part was dope. And then yeah, and then you have to go to the fight scene.
yeah,
And
she'll set
oh,
bombs. She'll throw mollies at you, bro. She'll fucking cut you. Like she does all the Ellie tropes that are just like, damn, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
it
And it
was
really shows how badass she is because, like I said, from the beginning, Abby is just so much more built for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but she doesn't have
and
that. It's almost like Ellie has this more like survival's rage. Like she's just got this different.
but they both do. They both
Yeah,
do. Because look at the end, bro. The
the
ending
ending
battle
showcases
scene
it,
is
dude. It's
fucking wild.
I don't know how anybody. Now let's focus on this for a second. Not to mention the leading up to that battle, how fucking amazing that shit was. But like
Yeah.
just that scene alone, where you're fighting, it's like Uncharted 4, but like turned up times 10. Dude, that fight scene was so fucking incredible, so violent, so graphic,
Yeah,
so gritty,
yeah,
so raw, and the fact
yeah.
that she just goes, "Get out of here," and she goes down to her knees and sits in that low water and the way the camera pans back, like, how do you not respect, love, and awe over that entire
No, but
sequence?
people are mad because they all once again they just go back to like, hey, Joel died and I want to kill her. Like that's
Yeah,
all they
but
were
that's
thinking about.
also,
And I'm like,
but
dude, it's bigger than that. Like when she was about to kill Abby and she got the flashback of Joel being on the front porch, like when she was going to go up to him, talk to him for the last time, and she starts crying. It's because she realizes no matter what the fuck happens here, I'm not getting him back. You know what I'm saying? Like she realizes that like like none of
and
this shit
yeah,
really fucking matters. I'm not getting him back.
it
Like
took her knowing that she could beat her, which she did, but then she found her humanity in the same way that Joel found his
well,
humanity through Ellie. Like she found her humanity through beating Abby, and
yeah,
that
and
she,
that's the
it
thing
reminded
about it
her.
though. It wasn't even really a fair fight because you got to think about it, dude. Abby was in that place for a fucking month getting tortured, bro.
Or
A
more.
month.
Was it a month? I don't remember if it was a month
It was a
or more.
month, and that's where the guy was like, "Yo, she's down by the pillars. I'm pretty sure she's dead already, bro." Like she was fucked up.
No,
So
but
it's like
I think she
once
was
it,
there longer because she escaped and then got put down there.
yeah.
So,
So that's what I'm saying. Abby is a badass character, dude. I think one on one, there's no way Ellie
well,
would
no,
be able
that's
to
why they
fuck with
did
her.
that. But Ellie also got stabbed
Yeah.
in the fucking side with the tree. So
Yep.
there's that. And she just
But you
went
got to
through
think
hell.
about how like she was probably fucking dehydrated, beat to shit. They were fucking. I don't know, man. She was like, it was so bad that when I went down to the pillars, I tried to climb up onto the place to lead to the boats. Right? I didn't
Yeah, that's
even
what I
think that
did.
she was up on the fucking thing. Like
That's what I
when I
did.
turned, when she coughed, and then I turned around and I'm like, holy shit, she's up here. Like, like
that
what the fuck?
I do not. How do you play that scene and not make sense to you? A, B, not be overly satisfied with it. Like it was absolutely incredible that part.
But that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I don't think there's any other game that transcends the game so much, dude. It really got into people's fucking psyche, got into their head where they were just like, fuck her. Like, fuck her. She's a stupid character. I don't care what the game does to try to put her the same light. The story sucks. This sucks. Him dying is the worst story ever. Like, that's just how people are going
well,
about it, bro.
well,
They're
people also
not
said
being objective with it. They're just
no. It's terrible, and it's also they're like, oh, but
But that's
Abby
the
wins.
genius of it though. Even though it's terrible, it's like that's exactly what they fucking wanted. Like
Like how do
Neil
you
said
one
it
up?
from before.
how do you one up the original one, right? Their ending,
Yeah.
because
Well,
that was controversial too.
how do you one up the original? But better yet, how do you one up Uncharted 4?
Right. Well, yeah, because Uncharted 4 was just, it's kind of like a send off and it made sense. But like this one left shit open for like, this could be the end. It could be, there could be another one. But it also, all of it made sense, the writing wise. Like, all of it made sense to the characters. And it just, it was so well done. And
It's dark.
it's
It's
dark
dark,
as
dude.
fuck.
I've watched like about two or three people finish the game, and they're like, I don't even know how to feel right now. Like that's where it leaves you off, where it's just like
Yeah, it's,
like where do we
it's,
go from here? What do I think about this right now? Like this is so crazy. It's things that I didn't really want, but the story is still really good. But then the gameplay is really good, and it's just like it's just this fucking mixture of emotions that you go through in this game, man. Like, and once again, it's like here you are sitting here tied to a fictional character, which is like once again, every other game that kills off a character, they kill it off and you feel sad about it. Like I don't think there's been any other game where you like they kill off a character and you're truly this upset about it.
yeah, I don't again, it's Naughty Dog proving who they are. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
And like I
it,
said, love it or hate it, they're the only one. And this is another thing that fucking kills me with the gaming community, right? We always ask for new. We always ask for innovation. We always ask for more. And then when we get shit like this, instead of looking at it objectively and being like, hey, you know what? They killed off one of my favorite characters, but like, let me still go through it. Or like, let me see the good and the bad and try to weigh it out or whatever, right? People just completely rip it to shreds. Like, they can't deal. You know what I'm saying? And this is out on a limb, bro. This is way out there. Like,
yeah, it's like nobody takes risk or chances anymore. This is, I mean, you cannot. It
from
is.
from 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 killing off your male character and to the violence, the level of violence that's in the game, to having like nudity. Like, dude, the clickers have tits out and shit. I was like, what? Like, who? Like,
Dude, that's
why? But
the
it's there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it makes sense because these motherfuckers have been sitting out in the fucking wild for how many years now? Like, it makes absolute sense of why it's there. But like, who would put that in there?
the I guess we can start to transition into gameplay and stuff. So the attention to detail really helps sell it. So when you play as Abby, I'm gonna highlight this in photos and in videos later. She holds the gun, and just for those that don't know, I've been doing tactical pistol training and stuff, so I'm starting to understand the mechanics of gunplay and whatnot in real life. But when you hold a gun, you have your thumbs pointed forward like this, right? They don't cross or anything like that, and you hold it up high on the gun, so you're it's hard to explain. I could go grab mine and show everybody, but I'm not. But anyway, the way that Abby holds the gun, the way she walks around with the gun, the way she goes out to shoot, everything she does is by the book. Even down to the reload. Now the reload's got a slight problem, and I hope that some of the Naughty Dog people see this. She turns the gun to the side like you're supposed to, ejects the clip, slides the clip in, right? But she does it down low, and that's not proper. It should be up high. So you always have the battlefield in front of you. But other than that, like, even the way they're working on the guns, the way they take the guns apart, everything
Yeah,
is accurate.
yeah,
The
it's
sound
nuts.
is bar none. The lighting is fucking phenomenal and really helps set
Dude,
the tone.
the
It sets the
the
atmosphere,
part where you're sniping with Tommy
the
on the top of
echoing.
the hill bro,
It
bro,
is. I played that part on surround sound and with 3D audio, and it is just
it's nuts.
it's incredible. So the lighting and stuff, like setting the atmosphere and shit, and now we'll parlay back into Abby going down in the bottom of the hospital in the dungeon. Dude, the boss fights in this game are fucking incredible. And when you fight the whatever that thing is that comes out of the vagina
Mm-hmm.
wall, that shit, you're in a dark ass room, you can't see shit, you're scrambling, you're running everywhere, it's breaking through walls. The game has environment damage, and it's fucking beautiful. Like that part, they did a good job of making it more like an actual survivor
Claustrophobic,
horror.
dude. Like, they put you in situations where it's like you have no choice but to like dip and move and dodge and just fucking hope you land a headshot, dude. Because it's just like they'll put you in the corner and put motherfuckers right in front of you, bro. Like there's definitely
It's
a lot
it's
of panic moments.
and there's jump scares. Like you really truly feel like you are. Like it's almost like how Resident Evil did the original one. Like I
Yeah,
jumped even on the second playthrough. I'm jumping in certain
yeah.
sections. Like
Atmosphere out the fucking out the ass, dude. Out the fucking ass. Like atmosphere wise, they nailed it.
yeah,
They
the subway
nailed it.
sequence, the red lighting and shit. Oh my god, it's
Even the way
fucking
how they
incredible.
switched up on the stalkers, right? Because in the first game, people don't even realize that they're actually stalkers, right? Like there are the ones that like they kind of wait for you to turn your back and run up on you. But the way how they did it in this game is like it's so much better. Like number one, you can't see them through the walls if you use like the detect mode or whatever. You can't see them through the walls, right? And they run up on you and love to grapple with you. So it's like every time you don't see them and they're in your face, they're trying to hold you down, and it's like that leaves open for like the other ones that are the runners and stuff to come up and try to fuck you up. Um, but it's just
They
like I'm so glad that they switched up on that, and they look different too. Like that
oh
they're way
dude,
more agile. They run on all fours and stuff. They try to stay low because they're trying to stalk you. Like
and they run from your light and shit. Like it's just intense, dude. The gameplay is so intense in every section. Like all the encounters, it's just so intense the entire time. Uh, the I can go on and on. Like the gameplay mechanics that they added are just phenomenal. Like just subtle things like the passing between small spaces by holding up and X. Like I don't
mm-hmm,
know why, but that little mechanic alone changes the entire battlefield. It is spectacular how great that works, and how every time you do it, you get it's like a feedback. Like you feel that, and you get like you get like pleasure from every successful pass through that you do. And
mm-hmm.
then when you combine that with a small pass through to a dive, and then you shoot somebody, like fucking unreal. Like people don't even realize you can jump backwards, like and land on your back. Like it's just very reminiscent of Max Payne 3 in that regard, but more not so like the 80s action. It's more realistic in the way they do it. But like it's phenomenal. Like you can shoot people's legs out from underneath them. Like shoot them in the kneecap. They react to it. The blood reacts. The person's damage on their leg. Like the clothes rip and then the wound is underneath. Like so, it's not just plastic on top of their pants. Like it's actually ripping open their pants. You can see their leg
Mm-hmm.
get shot. They fall down to one knee, and then you can run up to them and do like murder
But
mode,
then
or you
it's
can.
like it's also the reactions that they have with each other. So they all have different names. They all, like dude, I remember one time I shot a dog, but he didn't know where I was at because I had sniped him, and he stayed with the trainer. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like crying and shit, but he was with the trainer until they found me out, and that's when he came for me and stuff. But it's just like they really tried to make the AI in this one seem alive.
Yeah, and I've only been playing on normal. I'm not going to play a harder difficulty until like
I
Granted
just
comes out.
started on the hardest difficulty
See, I'm
because
waiting for
I
Grounded.
really want to fuck with it. But yeah, their aim is so much better too, bro. Like if you stand in one spot and try to shoot from just one spot all day, they're gonna put you on their ass every time.
Yeah, they wreck you. They wreck you. They definitely do. And that was one thing they admit that screwed up the first one. Is like when you get shot, and sometimes you would fall down right, but you couldn't shoot from that position. But now when you get shot to your back, you can actually shoot from your back, which is
Hmm.
brilliant. Yeah, the pulling the arrows out, and oh, I know the jumping, like the jump strikes. So if you're on a
Yeah,
higher platform or elevation, you can drop down on top of them. Like Icy brought this up. Oh, Assassin's Creed's been doing that forever. Well, yeah, a lot of games do that, but it's just different when it's put into this environment with everything else combined. Like it's just, and the brutal realism of it all with the violence and stuff. It's just yeah, it's a small thing that other people have done, but it's never done with all these other things put together. It's absolutely incredible. Like I just can't go on and on. Like and all the melee weapons cause different damage. It causes different blood, like the way the blood comes out, or like when you shoot somebody in the neck, the way they hold the wound, the way the blood pours out, and the way they fall to the ground and slowly die. You can also see the light leave their eye. Like you can almost see
hmm.
them dying in real time. Like there's something a certain glow to the characters that leave. It's
Dude,
hard to
I
explain,
don't
but
know what they did with their whole mocap facial structure, whatever thing, right? But there's a lot of things in that game that are said with the eyes or with the expressions or just their body movement, bro. Like, as soon as Abby came into the picture, right? And if you replay that scene, when Joel, when he says his name, right? She can't help but to like look at him, and her whole facial expression just changes, and they're like, "You're right," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm good," but like her eyes just are so fixated on him, like it just keeps on darting back to him so many times, and it's like you just knew. She didn't have, they didn't have to act it out, they didn't have to say anything. You just automatically knew that she was going to try to kill him. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. The facial expressions and stuff were just they helped sell the story. They helped sell the emotion in ways that like I didn't think they would be able to do this generation. It's absolutely incredible. I noticed that, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Ellie in the present timeline will not look at herself in the mirror. So if you go look in a mirror as Ellie, she looks down. But if you when they do flashbacks and stuff, she will look straight at the mirror. It's really weird. Like it's almost like she's ashamed of something or of herself, something about herself. Uh, it's like little things like that that really make you think, and that's not even like a cutscene. That's just gameplay. Like you'll just happen to come across that sort of thing. Um, that it just really kind of helps drive home the whole story. Like I,
mm-hmm.
it is absolutely incredible, dude.
That's another thing, the way how the different factions fight, where it's like the wolf is more like tactical. They'll, they'll come at you, just straight ahead and stuff like that. But when you fight the Seraphites, it's a completely different story, dude. Like the whistles are like, with
Oh,
if
it's
you have
incredible.
surround sound, the whistles are like piercing, dude. They're all around you. They'll like sneak on you and stuff like that. And their whole language is by whistling. So it's like you don't know what they're saying to each other, but the game still reacts. It's like they might be telling one of them to try to sneak up on you from the left, and I've been snuck up on the Starfires like a bunch of times because they're silent. They're more old school and traditional. Like they're more bow and arrows and stuff like that.
Right.
And their whole structure is different.
Did you ever pay attention to how the blood pools? So when you kill somebody, depending on where you shoot them, and the amount of blood that comes out is different depending on the weapon, the caliber of the weapon and stuff. That
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude, it will. And if they're on a slope, it will actually go down the slope. And if you hit them in like in an artery section, right, like the blood will be different. Like it's darker. Like, dude, it's absolutely incredible. Like I've never
yeah,
seen
yeah.
game this detailed
The
from
body
a violence
dismember is
standpoint.
crazy, dude.
Insane,
Like I
dude.
remember
The
there's a
bombs.
bunch of there's one area that I had where like I drew all the enemies. There was a whole bunch of like clickers and stuff into one area, and it was just perfect, dude. And I threw a bomb in there, and there was meat chunks like coming off the ceiling,
Like
off the
sliding down the
wall.
wall.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, you'd see like one of the clickers had blown up, and it blew him in half. But the explosion also like charred his internal shit, so it was just like it looked like charred meat. Like it. Oh my god, bro,
dude,
that shit is
in
amazing.
the blood
Man,
smear on the ground whenever you blow them up is
yeah.
fucking
Or like
insane looking.
a lot of things. If you shoot a clicker in his kneecaps, he'll still come at you. Like he'll crawl on the floor and try to. I think that's like reminiscent of Resident Evil and stuff too.
Right.
But like, yeah, they'll still come at you. Like if you don't get a headshot on a clicker, they'll still come after you. Like,
And how about the bloater sections? Like how
yeah,
fucking insane are those things? Like it's just I do not get it. Like I do not understand the criticism. I understand
you
sort of
understand the criticism, but that's what I'm saying. The criticism is from a hurt.
I sort of
It's
understand it.
coming
I
from
could
a place of hurt, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but that's exactly what the game is supposed to feel, dude. Like, what people are, and oh, this is also another thing. A lot of people are like, oh, revenge hate, like Neil Druckmann was trying to tell you that revenge is bad. He never said that. Where people are coming up with this fucking narrative is beyond me. He literally said this is a story about revenge. He never said you're supposed to like or not like revenge or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ellie at the end of the game, it's not like she doesn't think that revenge is a bad thing. She just realizes that she's not going to get Joel back. Like, at that point it didn't matter to her, and it's like at that point, do you really like, would you really want Ellie to go over the edge? Like if she killed Abby, right, what would she do with Lev? Would she kill her? Like,
well, who's to say they didn't die anyway? I mean, Homegirl got
that's what I'm
stabbed in the
saying, they
fucking
probably did right afterwards, bro. Like
yeah.
like, but
People were saying
who's
that. Abby got
Yeah.
away with it, and she got everything, and Ellie lost everything. I was like, what are you talking about? Ellie lost
That's what I'm
everything.
saying. That's exactly that's the stupid shit that people are saying, and I'm just like, did you play the game? Because Abby lost a
They
lover,
they
a
both well, they
father,
lost all their
all her
friends,
friends, a dog, her fucking whole everything that she
her
had
the
built
army,
up.
like everything. She lost everything.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, you people
It's
make no
insane.
fucking sense. Like, just
Ellie
stop being
walked away from
irrational. Because
she walked away from the perfect life. Like they both lost everything. Like there's no winners, there's no losers in this world, and that's kind of the point. It's like it's just a dark, menacing world,
But
and
that's what revenge in man. Revenge is like revenge is a dark, dirty emotion, dude. It's not something.
philosophy's been
There's no
saying that for
logic to
years.
it.
Right?
There's
Yeah.
no
I mean,
logic to it.
apply it to real life. It's the very same thing.
Yeah, there's no logic to that shit. You just do what you do. But like at the end, she realized that she's not gonna get him back. There's nothing that she could do about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. What the fuck? Why is you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Some weird star thing just popped up on my screen for some reason. I don't know.
I think so. If people like your thing, it's probably you have
Uh,
no idea what the fuck you're doing. That's
no,
great.
I have no idea.
They can actually with Playroom, the people can actually interact with you. So depending on if they put up different things, and from what I remember, bro, it's been a long time since I watched that.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, man, what an experience, dude! What a journey, and like the fact that it's that long, it's 25 plus hours. It jumps seamlessly back and forth between different things. Uh,
I
between different timelines, between different characters, going back and spending time with Joel, which is another problem that I hear people saying that Joel died too quickly. But there's a lot of time that you have with Joel, and a lot of parts that are reminiscent of the first game. That it picks up right where things
right where I
left
left
off with
off,
them.
basically.
You
Yeah.
know. Here's another
It's
thing too. A lot of people didn't catch the whole fact of like Ellie's really into space, and one of the things that they had talked about was their next game, or they wanted to talk about space. So it's like it's not a coincidence that all of a sudden she's into space and everything like that, and so that was pretty cool. Like I think that's a little Easter egg trying to like show the future of like what they
yeah.
want to
There's
do.
I bet you there's a ton of Easter. I saw a Death Stranding, the hands thing. Did you ever play Death Stranding?
Nah,
Oh man, you're missing out. That's a great game.
yeah, I'll
That's
miss that one, bro.
no,
Fuck the bullshit.
I promise you're sounding just
I
like this.
got better things to do than walking around all day, bro. I'm
I
good, bro.
promise, dude. I'm
Please
telling you, we're
don't you
gonna keep
wish
it.
that on me,
We're
bro.
gonna we're gonna keep the Last of Us. The Last of Us. I'm just trying to tell you, you are missing out, and you're acting like everybody else right now with this game. I'm telling you,
Yo,
that
I'll
game is.
miss it, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not walking around all day, bro. That shit is not for me,
It's
bro.
not. It's
Like,
different. It's not like that. Dude, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
what do you mean it's
You,
different?
you and I like virtually the same shit. I'm telling you, you will love it.
No, we actually that's the funnier part. Me and you like are very different on a lot of shit.
No, but we enjoy
Even though
a
everybody
lot of the
thinks that we
same.
like the same shit.
We do like a lot of the same games, though. Either way, I'm working. I'll save that for another time. You've got to play this
Yeah.
Stranding. I promise you, it's fucking worth it. It's so good. That's a great game.
Hmm.
That's a great fucking game. God. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm worried that we won't ever get another game like this ever again,
No,
and that
no,
and that bothers me
no.
to the core, dude. Because
No,
this is
because once
lit.
again,
Uh,
no one's gonna take the risk. No one's gonna do what they did. No one let fucking Rockstar come out and with the Arthur Morgan and kill him and right in the beginning of the fucking story and see it. No one's gonna do that.
I'm
And
not
you
even talking
know,
about
so,
story. I'm talking about gameplay wise. Like I don't think we'll ever
yeah.
get another game that's this.
Oh no, gameplay wise, yeah, I don't think that's gonna be like that either.
Maybe I mean we got the order. The order is really close to it. It's nowhere
Yeah,
near as good, but it's
you know
similar.
they got bought out by Facebook, right?
Yeah, dude, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it at all.
Yeah.
Sony fucked up, dude. That should have been a purchase. They should have.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of developers that they let go that I was kind of salty about.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, like
Yeah,
as much as I loved Horizon, I would much rather get an ordered sequel.
Gorilla Cambridge, they let them go, and I think they're a fucking excellent fucking developer, dude. There's people still playing Killzone Mercenaries to this day. Like,
Right? Yeah,
try getting a
true.
match and just in Shadowfall, that's not happening. But
So let's. What do you think? How would you, as far as the first game? Like, I feel like it's not even fair to say if it's better or worse. I feel like it's just a complete story now. Like they just kind of
yeah,
blend in together. I don't even know if it's fair to even compare the two. You know what I mean?
yeah, honestly, yeah, it's really hard for me to not because like yeah, contrary to popular belief of all these motherfuckers on YouTube that will tell you like we just went through a whole bunch of stuff that shows you it's pretty much exactly the same, other than the the way how Joel and Tommy did that whole thing in the beginning. That will always be a controversial topic for whatever. You know what I'm saying?
well, like Henry and
Um,
Sam's character and stuff, like those moments are in this game, but like several times over. and
Yeah,
it and
and that's the crazier part too. A lot of people are complaining, "Hey, there's no character development. There's no character in the first game." There is. You
there's
have
more. There's
Abby.
more.
Yeah, there's more characters. There's more character development growth. You have um just so many good characters in there, man. That like are really nice, like cool. Manny is a cool one. Fucking Jesse, like he wasn't my favorite, but he played his part. He fucking saved her ass, and
That
like
dude sounded like the blackest Asian ever. Tell me he didn't.
he's like, "Is that weed?" I was like, "Yeah,
he's,
dude." You know,
he's
there's pornos in that fucking room.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. What was it? Smashing Karen.
Snatch Bandicoot or some shit like
Yeah,
that. Snatch it. I was like, "What the fuck?"
dude, it is. That game is. I'm still playing it on the second time, and I can tell you right now, as soon as I complete it for the second time, I'm going to fire it back up again because I
Dude,
cannot get
you
enough of the
you
gameplay.
know you know it's something crazy right now when like everyone's been talking about this, right? And it's all these no-name fucking YouTubers that think their 2 cents fucking matter, or that it's really. And you know what's another thing, which I'm gonna fucking hate to say it, but like in Europe, the game is selling like extremely fucking well, right? And I
It's
think
already
it's a
the fastest selling. It's the best selling
yeah.
PlayStation game of all time. They
I
already announced it.
I don't know if that's gonna be the same for here, bro. Like I
It
think
is. They
people are
already
a
announced
lot.
it. They already
Oh,
announced
okay,
it.
for yeah.
Yeah, it's the fastest selling PlayStation game of all time.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's like none of that shit really mattered, and to really piss off a fan base that much and still come out like this, bro, it's something you have to fucking experience, man. If you enjoyed the first game, not to say that you will, fully enjoy what they're doing to the characters in this game, but like it's out of control, man. It's
the
seamless. The way how it's just seamless, bro. It's just cutscene into gameplay into insane boss battle right back into gameplay, bro. That whole end section where Abby's on the island, and once that shit starts rolling, bro, it's just a roller coaster of just madness, bro. It's like you're riding on a horse, you're shooting shit. Like it definitely has more of an Uncharted feel for sure, dude. Like, and I called that from way back when.
it's Uncharted with more weight, so everything carries more
Yeah,
weight with it. You know, like and it's
but
weird
it's
how they
just
do
like
that. I don't know how they do that, but like
yeah, you're
everybody
starting the
has.
battle. You go through all this shit. You're jumping on the horse. You're shooting people. The tower falls over. You're getting off the horse. You're back into the whole thing. Then you're fighting this huge boss guy. You're chopping his freaking his jaw off, and like you end up beating him by like pulling on his jaw to fucking stab him to death, and he drops
It's
on you. It
oh my
just
god,
it's
it's so
so
incredible.
seamless. Like I
It is
don't think they're.
incredible.
You
It is
notice that
incredible.
developers haven't really been saying shit. They've been like they're not saying nothing right now, bro. Like,
Dude, they get caught like that Tomb Raider guy was like, that's not good, rails, blah. Remember? And it's like, dude, you were so wrong. Like, here, watch this. Like, I felt
yeah.
like they were really just shitting on everybody with this game. Now, people have to
Well,
realize,
that's the thing
Naughty
too. And
Dog
you
is
know what? You know what's
they.
crazy though? Like right now, it's hard to say you actually like this game because of like how many people are vocal about like what they don't like about the game so much that like if you say like I actually liked it, it's like what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you're SJW this and that? It's like bro, it's just a good game, bro. Like I gave it the chance. Like I don't know if you
I,
did, but
you can tell when these people start talking that they don't know fuck all. Like, and they don't pay attention to the nuance. They don't pay. I mean,
no.
these people are not allowed in my house. Uh, I, I you know Rockstar is the only other developer that pulls this shit off. You know, like I don't. Well, I guess Ready at Dawn I feel like did, and maybe the Hellblade
Mhm.
team. can pull some shit off like this. But
Oh, you know
they're
what? I will give Rockstar props though, because didn't they kill off that biker dude
uh,
in GTA 5 with Trevor? Trevor just comes out of nowhere and just stomps the shit out of
yeah,
him, and
yeah,
people had a problem with that. You
yeah,
remember? So
yeah.
I'll give it to them, but like he wasn't. He was like a side DLC character still, but like yeah, that's pretty ballsy. But this is
That
like a
Rockstar
whole
just
nother
I just mean
level.
like as far as like the development and the technical ability, like the fact that
Yeah.
Red Dead is so fucking amazing looking and it's as huge as it is, like
But
that's
I mean,
incredible.
what's in it?
A lot.
Is there
That's a
that
lot.
much in the world?
Don't get me started. Don't. I'm not doing that debate with you again. That fucking
I'm
game is
not.
incredible.
I'm
I'm
not,
not
because
doing that with
honestly,
you.
I put that game down because it was just the same game. But that's just me.
I put what 300 some odd hours into that game.
Yeah.
I love that shit. But yeah, like
But
Rockstar is
that's what I'm
top
saying.
notch.
Like, if it was the same exact game as the first one, which is what everybody wants it to be, I would have been bored with it. I would have been fucking bored with it. Like, it
I
wouldn't have been
wanted it
like
to. Yeah,
that's exactly what I
it's
did to
supposed to
Red
do
Dead,
this.
bro. When I put it in and the aim was shit, number one, I didn't like that. But once I figured out that it was the same fucking story as the original, I stopped playing this shit. Like,
This, this one did everything you would want it to do. Like it was challenge. It challenged you to think. It challenged you to like. It went against what you wanted. I mean, it's just right. It just did everything right. I do not.
yeah,
I understand some people's criticism of it, but I don't. At the same time, don't get it. Like there's people out
they're
there that
hurt.
love the
That's
first
all
one
it's
that won't
coming
even
from,
play it.
bro. That's all it's coming from. They killed my favorite character. That's all it's coming from, really. Like, and you're allowed to feel that way, but don't try to change the narrative into something else of why other people should hate. It's because of the story, and this doesn't make sense. Because like when I literally ask those people what doesn't make sense, they have the only thing they can tell me is how Joel and Tommy introduce themselves. That's it. Other than that, everything else is just like it makes sense. So I don't get what you're talking about.
And when you're watching, it's got to be different when you're watching it as opposed to being a participant. Like it's just different. It hits different. You know, I don't know. It's I feel bad for the people that worked on it because they kicked fucking ass, dude. Like this game is incredible, and you know, you had one glitch happen. I haven't experienced that yet, but other than like some of the weird visual stuff, I did notice that the audio, as far as the companion conversations, are not as good as Uncharted 4's for some reason. You there? Hello, hello, hello. Something happened. We're having some technical difficulties. Hello, hello. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Uh, I think he lost his mic or something. Yeah, the I don't want to go over it again. But if everybody, thanks for tuning in and watching this. Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. I don't know what happened. Your mic cut out. I couldn't hear you.
Um. Yeah. Another thing is like the set pieces in this game are really good too, because
They're
like the
more,
Sky Bridge.
yeah,
The
awesome.
Sky Bridge was fucking amazing. Like
Did
I
you
love
notice?
that fucking part.
Did you notice when you're playing as Abby? Anytime you look over a ledge, the view changes and it starts to get like woozy because she gets sick. I play with it a lot, and if you go to an edge and you look over if you look over long enough, she'll lose her balance and fall. Like it's incredible, dude. Absolutely incredible. I was telling you whatever before your
that
mic cut out. The
Yeah,
audio between
that
the characters
the Skybridge part in general, like, and that's what I'm saying. It's not even like okay, you could just say the Skybridge. That whole building descent to go down to the
is
street,
incredible, incredible.
like what are people talking about? This game is bad, bro. Like I don't fucking get it. I do not.
The dude, the environment, the lighting, the everything about it is just absolutely top notch.
That's what I'm saying. And
Except
it's
for
not
the
even like they had like a lot of electrical lighting to work with. They have actual like natural lighting that has to bounce off of shit. Like
it's
it's
incredible,
not.
dude. And just so everybody knows, one of the lead lighting artists for the game is going to do a podcast with Julie and I, so we can quiz them about stuff and ask them how they came up with this and stuff like that. I'm also working on getting the audio guy. So the next couple of podcasts will be focused on this game, but we'll also be talking to the people that made it. Just so y'all know, if y'all want to tune in for that, that'd be great. But I was going to tell you, the audio is weird. Like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like with Uncharted 4, when you were talking to your companions, like their voice would change. Like if you were Drake and you were running, the way he would talk would change because he's like out of breath kind of.
Yeah,
They didn't really do that in this game, and they also didn't really like you couldn't in Uncharted 4 you could pick up and drop a conversation at a drop of a hat. So if you're driving around, then you hop out, you're like, hold on, and that conversation will pause, and when you get
yeah,
back
yeah,
in,
yeah.
they will acknowledge that you left, and then go right back into that conversation. This game doesn't appear to do that very well.
No, you could definitely tell that like there's certain things in the game that make you understand that they needed more time with it. Like I think it's because of the leaks and stuff. Like it definitely,
Well, it's also the pandemic, dude. People have to realize that they went
yeah,
from in studio to trying to finish it from their house, and their network wasn't even set up for it. So like they had to like paperclip that shit together to where the developers could work on it because there's a good chance that this thing was going to be delayed for a long time had they not figured out how to do it. Uh, and so that I think that took a hit
just
on the
amazing, man.
quality
How
in
how
some
many
regards.
fucking dude? How many of the actually infected were on screen and stuff like that? Remember, like when you're Abby before, like when Joel saves you and stuff, like that whole fence scene when they like the I don't even know what the
you
fuck they
can
would call
you
it.
can stay back and fight those things. You just die. I mean, you run out of shit. But I
Yeah,
on
yeah,
all those parts I've so far, like on my second playthrough, I'm trying to stay in as long as I can. But like the part where Lev, as you like open that thing, you have to run up the car to get out. Dude, I
yeah,
sat in there and fought all kinds of shit for a long time because I had stocked up on everything. You can stay in there and fight a bunch of shit, but it starts to get really overwhelming.
yeah,
Oh, and by the
yeah.
way, on the dodge mechanic, dude, that shit is so brilliant when you
It's
combine
it's
that.
almost game breaking though. Honestly, like if you slam on that enough, it gives it like the Tomb Raider effect, and which is like one of my
Oh
problems with
yeah,
Tomb Raider.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
if you spam the dodge button, you could get out of almost any situation.
Who not me? I get fucked up when I do it. I've been trying to do it more cinematic like, so I'll try to just do one dodge to pivot and then strike, but I've been getting fucked up trying to use it. Like I'm not.
Yeah,
I've been trying to mimic what these guys are doing on these gifs on Twitter, and like I don't. They're pulling off some dope shit, dude. I don't know how they're doing it because I'm trying over and I'm restarting sequences, trying to just like do some cool combat, and I'm getting fucked up. Like I'll like dodge, and the arrow will go past me, and I'm like, hell yeah, right into a bat. Like I'll just dodge right into a bat. Like I'm getting fucked up. Like, and that's the other thing
it's dude,
they
it's beautiful, man. Like it like when you have like a nice run where it's just like slide, blow out this motherfucker's kneecap, get up, shoot an arrow, it goes into his face. Like it's almost like like it
it's murder
flows,
porn.
bro.
It's
Yeah,
great.
it flows so fucking well,
Name
bro.
name another game, a sequel to a game that improved the gameplay night and day like this. I can't think of one. I can't
And
think
it,
of.
and the crazier part is it's not even like they did a lot, right?
It's just
But
real
it's
subtle,
these little subtle things that when you put the package together, it feels different. It feels way fucking different, bro.
dude. The way the guns react in their hands, the way the different guns react from one another, the impact of the bullets and the different calibers, the sounds of them, like everything about it. It's enhanced from the first one, but also it's so much more nuanced. Like
Because
it's
like
really hard
yeah,
to explain
you
without.
you have to keep on moving now. That's the first thing that they added, like the momentum of it. Like you can't just sit there in one spot, or you can't just lose them and just they'll sniff you out. They will try to
Yeah,
catch
they
you.
do a pretty good job of stalking you, like, and
Yeah,
that's where like I challenge people to play it and then run more because they can hear you. And so as you're running, you and running gun in this game is so much more satisfying than it was in the
yeah, it
first game.
is.
It
It
is so much
is.
more satisfying, and the melee combat is so freaking good, and like the way like each character's face will convey like anger and like murder, death, like when they're stabbing people. It's just it's so brilliant, and it helps
No, they,
add to
they
what you
zoom
just
in at the
did.
right fucking time, dude. Like it's perfect
Oh
timing when
my
they zoom
god,
in. Like
it's so. unreal. I haven't noticed, and maybe I haven't done it enough, but I haven't noticed any like Joel moves where you grab their head and smash them on stuff. Have you done that?
No, I haven't done it. Like I'm usually just
I
going for headshots all day, bro. Like
I miss
that's why I
I
wanted to
miss that.
replay it
Like
with more melee stuff. You
you
can
can't
do it though.
I haven't
Uh,
done it. I haven't done one where you slam their head into anything. I haven't done it
yeah.
once. Not once. I haven't done it. I've been trying. I don't know if you can. And that if they got rid of that, that sucks. They need to patch that shit because I need some more environment head smashing. I don't know. Maybe you can. I haven't been able to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like you remember that whole sequence that we saw where the first gameplay where that dude throws alien shit and everybody's like, it's not going to be in the game. That was 100% in the game. You just have to
Mm-hmm.
let them grab you. You have to let those big guys grab you. They'll throw you over shit or throw you into shit, and like it's awesome, dude. Like I can't say it enough. The gameplay floored me. Like I knew it was going to be
Yeah.
badass. I knew it was going to be awesome. I didn't know it was going to be like this beautiful blend between Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Part 1, the way that it is. Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
masterfully done. And it's like you said that they made subtle changes and it changes
Yeah.
everything.
The squeezing through little cracks and stuff like that, the freaking the way how the enemies even move, like because they do have their trajectory path or whatever the fuck that path that they always follow to look for you, like a lot of them. But
Right.
even in doing so, they'll take a glance back every once in a while, and you'll be like, even if you're sneaking up behind them, you're not really
Isn't that
safe
weird?
because
Yeah,
yeah,
it
they
throws you
might
off.
look over their shoulder real quick and be like, what the fuck, like just it's like whoa.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it on grounded because it's going to be way better not having like a HUD and stuff, which I guess I can turn off on
Hmm.
normal, but it's just really fun to see. I've been paying attention to how their bodies, like how they react when they're hurting and shit. It's just so fucking dope, dude. And the heartbeat mechanic, where when you start sprinting around and you start to get your heart rate up, and how it throws everything out of whack, like it's so fucking dope. Oh, it's so great. And I think you even bleed out faster too. Like if you have an arrow in you and you start sprinting, I haven't double checked it, but I'm pretty sure you bleed out faster because your heart's pumping.
Yeah. That dive, man. There's like I said, little subtle things though. It's like that just make the whole experience different. The way how the AI moves, being able to squeeze through those little tight spaces, the level design is a huge one that makes the game feel a lot different.
Oh my god, dude, the level design is so
They
cool.
add this complete level of like verticality, but it doesn't look like you're supposed to be able to use this whole thing as this big playground to kill all these motherfuckers, but it actually works. It's nuts, man. Like that whole section where you're fighting the Seraphites in that little parking lot area, like you
Right.
could go up the back part and actually go all the way up the steps, or you could climb through the whole center part, or
You
you
can
could
swim
jump over. Like,
underwater. You can do
yeah,
like there's so much you can
it's
do.
so many different ways to go about it. Um,
I wish that if I could change anything, I wish that they could have, and this could be a hardware limitation, but I wish there could be more enemies on screen because
yeah.
most of the sections outside like hordes and stuff, like there's not enough enemy AI in one place. Like most of the time, it's very few numbers. I wish it was way more. Now I'm assuming that like that's a hardware issue more than anything. But my God, it would make it so much more interesting if you had like if every encounter had a bare minimum of like 10 people as opposed to 3 or 4 or 5.
Hmm.
There are sections of the game where there's more, but I just wish it was more prominent throughout the whole game. Yeah, I guess we've been doing this for a while. I guess we should probably go ahead and end it. I will let
Yeah,
everybody
man.
know when I get the other ones lined up. Hopefully, you and I will be able to come up with some cool questions that nobody else is going to be asking because we actually play the game, we actually care about the game, and we also care about how it's made. Unlike all these other yahoos out here, um, I'm
Hmm.
doing this kind of stuff, this one-off podcast stuff, because I truly love this shit and I want to know more about it. And once all that's done, I'll probably be done with YouTube again. But I'm doing it basically for you and I just to learn more about the game that we fucking love. I appreciate you uh, doing this with me because I didn't want to do
Yeah,
this shit
bro.
by myself and
You
just
know.
talking to myself. It feels weird.
Be a weirdo talking about fictional characters.
Yeah, all by myself. The SJW, there's lesbians, there's a boy girl. Uh,
Yeah. But for
fucking
anybody
design,
who
shindig.
hasn't played that and is on the fence about playing it, like just try it. It's not gonna kill you to fucking try this game. And I'm pretty sure, even if you despise the story to the core, that gameplay is something else, man. That gameplay is
It's
The truth. Oh,
it's
yo,
phenomenal.
we didn't even talk about. All right, real quick. When you fight Tommy and he's sniping at you the whole
Oh
time,
my
when it's
god.
Abby and Manny, and then he just takes Manny's face completely the fuck off, and then like, what?
It's a damn shame. That man he snipes like I do.
Yeah,
Our
that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, yo, look at this. My game
God.
actually glitched out at that point,
Yeah, I know. You talk
because
about that. That's
yeah, when it was
crazy.
when I figured out it was Tommy, I was like, let me see if I could break it, and because I was like, I know it's not gonna let me shoot him, but like I shot at him, and then like his character got stuck, so I had to like restart over again. Um, but just those things like that, like, and it's like it's funny because you know it, like even though the characters are going through it, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? He has a crazy shot, and you're like, that's Tommy. You already know
Yeah.
who it is.
Yeah, that's those death scenes with Jesse too. You're just like out of nowhere, like, yo, our homie just got blown away. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, yeah, dude, that part was both that part threw me off. I was like, oh shit. But then also when Jesse got it through the face, I was like, God damn, dude,
Yeah,
that's
there's a lot
crazy.
of key area, like people like, oh, what's memorable about that game. It's like there's a lot of key parts in there where you could talk about. um Here's another little thing that we didn't talk about: the whole open area that they did, like Left Behind, not Left Behind DLC, like the like when you get to Seattle and you can actually go around that little area and stuff and pick stuff up and like go at your own pace. I thought I was gonna hate that part. It was then the Chloe and Nadine friggin' one, right? Like
See, I didn't have a
that, I
problem with
think
that one either,
overstayed
though.
its welcome. I think it overstayed. Me, it took too long. After a while, I was like, I'm over this. But the
Oh,
Seattle
okay.
one was like really nice.
It felt we were prepared for it though because of the Lost
Yeah,
Legacy, but also it's like, well, I guess I'll try to forward that too. But yeah, it felt more. Uh, can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. It felt more like you're discovering. I don't know. They both have. I don't know. I like them both, so it's kind of hard for me to say what's. I
Yeah,
just I really
I
enjoyed
think
it.
it
There's
overstayed its welcome a little bit too much with the Lost Legacy DLC for me. I didn't really like it, but this one, because every little area that you go in there is like really different. Like, and there's all these little things that are sprinkled out through it. Like, there's a tank, and when you go in there, like the
yeah, yep,
guys.
yep.
Somebody threw a grenade in there or something like that, or whatever the fuck. So they're like all dead inside there. Or you go down into a bank where they were robbing the bank on heist day. So all this stuff happened, and the guy ended up like shutting himself in the vault and shit to try to like stay safe. And
I liked.
um
Yeah, I love that part. I love how you would get into like different skirmishes, and then you could have just completely
yeah,
missed the whole thing had you not. Uh, yeah, that's good. That's a good point. I think we forgot about that. That part was really
yeah.
good. I
And
yeah.
one of the negatives, because we can't just be all positive about it. Like I think there's a little bit too much emphasis on those notes. Like I got tired of reading notes. Like it was just
Yeah,
way too many fucking notes.
the first playthrough, I felt exactly the same way. The second playthrough, I've been reading all of them, even all the little like game cards, and it helps tell a much better story.
Oh yeah,
So
and
so it actually makes
just as
sense.
it did with the first game. What do you go figure? Like,
Yeah,
uh,
but you're right. There is more, but I think they kind of
a
had to
lot
because
more.
well, there's more players involved. So I feel like they
Yeah.
kind of had to help tell. Not just, it's weird. It's like it does it in a way that where you're getting the backstory that doesn't really make sense or it doesn't matter to the whole story, but it
Hmm.
helps kind of like drive your inner thoughts about each character because it talks about them. Like
Yeah.
that. It's cool. Like and, I was gonna point
Oh
out
no,
like
yeah,
the chick with the
it's
Vita
definitely a dark world.
that you
Yeah,
stab
yeah,
in
the
the neck.
little Vita joint.
So when you actually meet her and talk to her and shit, when you're
Yep.
playing as Abby and like she's
Yeah.
actually playing the Vita and you talk to her about it, like that it just makes you it humanizes the NPC to where you're like, damn, I fucked that bitch up. Like I feel
Hmm.
bad now. She was just trying to get her Vita on, and I'm over here stabbing her in the neck. But yeah, again, I just the
I think
more
it was just a little bit too much, dude. Like I don't know. Like
no,
I
again my first playthrough, I'm 100% with you, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah, it felt like more of like a RPG, not RPG, but
Like
like
that and the stations to actually upgrade your weapons. It's like I think they just couldn't figure out where to place them that would be like strategic enough for you to go through the game and actually be able to upgrade. So they're sprinkled everywhere, and it just kind of takes you out of it a little bit. You're like,
I
Who
see,
the fuck is putting these weapon stations
I
all
didn't
over the
feel that
fucking
way.
place? Like,
I didn't feel that
yeah, I
way.
don't know. I think it was a little too much. Little too much. You had the Seraphite fucking station. Like, they don't even have weapons like that. But
They did a good job, and normally with flashbacks in games, it normally irritates me.
mm-hmm.
Uh, there were moments in this game where I didn't like it, or I was starting to get to where I was like, okay, I don't want to do another flashback. But then a flashback would involve combat, and I was like, oh shit, this is different, you know.
Yeah.
And like it was awesome because the one part where I guess you're in that lodge, and all the shit starts running out from the banisters, and you and Joel are trying to fight him. Joel is wrecking people, dude. Like
Yeah,
normally,
dude, that
normally
part is bad. You mean the part where they go for the guitar strings?
Yeah, so that part, so
Yeah,
normally in normal games when you have a companion, normally you can just out kill your companion, no questions asked. But Joel's wrecking shit, dude. Like
yeah.
hard body. It's dope.
I kind of I don't know how I feel about the things that are in the game that make you have to do it though. Like for instance, in that scene, the bloater's supposed to catch you, right? But
Oh yeah, isn't that weird?
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that
I
because
liked it. Here's why. Because normally, I think the reason why they did it was because it was so cool to feel it as a person. So,
well, it
okay,
was it was yeah, it was atmospheric too because it's just like then you just see Joel like you still see that Joel is willing to go whatever like he fucking takes that machete out so quick and just like chops like
no, I don't
he
mean that. I don't mean that. I meant like from the first game, the very first time that thing grabs you and splits your face open, but it cuts away, it starts to happen. You're like, oh damn, let's do it again. And right before it does it, he saves you, and you're like, what the fuck? Like you were expecting to
hmm
get split in half, and you. So I thought the reason why they made you do that was kind of cool, and the trade off was
yeah.
awesome. But
I
yeah,
did.
I get what you're
I
saying.
saw somebody that was like I was watching Nick A30 because he came back and started playing it again, which was like a huge surprise. But he's actually really good at dodging, right? So he was dodging this thing for like fucking 15 minutes. Like Joel killed this thing and it just wouldn't die. So it was like
Right.
for him it was just kind of game breaking a little bit. Um
Oh,
so
well,
I
yeah,
wonder if
that's
they
not
could have
bad.
worked that out a little bit differently where it's like I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't have that problem because I was wearing it out, and then it accidentally got a hold of
And
me because I
that's
was.
yeah, that's the same thing with Tommy too. It was like a little groundbreaking when I was just like I shot at him and nothing happened. I was like, oh well, okay.
See, I don't
it
ever.
was just,
I don't
yeah,
ever do stuff like that because I know the game was not gonna let me do it anyway. Does that make sense? Like
yeah.
like the first game, that during that sniper section, you couldn't shoot the sniper no matter what. So I was just like, I'm not even gonna try on this one because I
But
know you can't.
they could at least had him dodge, dude. Like he doesn't even dodge. He just stays there no matter like what. Like it's like those
Well,
little tiny things. I'm like, okay,
yeah, no, that totally. I wonder if some of that stuff could help be mitigated with better hardware. I don't know, but I
hmm
will say that one thing we didn't touch on was how they would make levels based on levels that you loved from the first one, but they were different, but they still felt similar. Like
hmm
that, I loved that because there's so many like the sniper section, right? It's like yes, there's a new sniper section. There's a lot of like the David section. There's a lot of areas of the game that are reminiscent of the first one, but still different and unique in their own way. I thought that was really well done as far as the environment artists go. Yeah, it's really well done.
yeah. What a journey though. Like what a like and pick it up. Like try it. It can't hurt.
No, it's
um,
it's definitely worth. And on top of that, you got to get ready for the multiplayer because that multiplayer is going to be fucking incredible.
yeah,
I cannot fucking wait. I cannot. I shouldn't say that because I need to stay away from multiplayer. But my God, like how do you stay away with this gameplay? It's not possible. It's just not possible. Man, I'm super excited for it. All right, everybody. I think appreciate y'all stopping by. Hopefully, we'll get the other podcast coming up here real soon about this, and hopefully by then I'll convince Mr. Dooley here to play Death Stranding. Oh, hey, are you
it's
still
not
planning
even.
on doing? Are you planning on doing what should we call it? A YouTube channel or no?
um, I don't know. As of right now, I'd probably say no, but who knows? We're
You
here
might
doing
want
this
to.
right now, and it felt good. So,
I might go
um,
ahead and put your shit your link in the description so people can go follow you.
yeah, definite, definite.
Because that way you can get better at this shit, and I don't have to do it on my channel anymore because I don't know how. Obviously, technical difficulties. Plus, you have a better mic and all that kind of stuff, so you could do this better than I can.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like I'll get back at it. I gotta keep playing this game. I can't stop playing.
Oh
It's
yeah,
fun.
and yo, hit us up in the comment sections if there's anything that you guys disagree with or you think that we didn't touch on or something like that. Go into the comment sections. Like we'd love to be able to back and forth. You know, we don't have all
That's
the
true.
answers,
That's
so
true. We could actually do a second, like a rebuttal one, like where we can do another podcast where we invite people on that disagree and we can debate it.
yeah.
We can do that definitely. I want to keep this one positive, but we can definitely do a second one where we bring people on that want to dispute some shit and maybe change our mind. It won't happen, but you can try. Uh, yeah, that's a really good point. So hopefully enough people watch it all the way through to work at this part because I would love to do a debate with people and you know crush them. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna end the stream, guys. If I can figure out how to do that. Right. Hold on.